Welcome back to another episode of Fix My Ship, the space where we have honest, heart-level conversations about the relationships and struggles that shape us. In this episode, I wanted to do a special introduction because we're unpacking the pain of broken friendships, the grief of losing a parent, and the quiet battle of eating disorders. These are some deep waters, but you're not navigating them alone. Whether you're in the thick of it or supporting someone who is, we hope this episode offers comfort, perspective, and healing. If something connects with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to let today's special guests introduce themselves, and then we'll move on from there.
Hi there, my name is Queen, and I have been with this beautiful lady, been her friend since middle school, and so I can't wait for us to catch up. This is a disclaimer. There is chirping in the background because we need to change the batteries for the fire alarm, and we didn't change it. My husband didn't change it, but he will. So, thank you.
And she has a whole man in these streets, but I told her, I was like, you better say something or the social media streets will get you. So I just tried to let her know.
So apologies in advance for the chirps that you may hear in the background.
He's bringing the batteries though, so eventually it'll probably be by the time we're done with this episode, but it is what it is. So let me get my glasses because I wear glasses now because we older.
I need glasses. I just haven't gone to go get mine yet.
Oh, you real old when you don't have your when you know you need glasses but you won't get none. That's when you're old.
Well,
so at least I got mine.
At least look at you being responsible. I'm not.
I'm not being responsible.
Girl, I'm looking like trying to look. Eyes be squinty. Dang, why I can't see? But I went to see the shortcut that works in a pinch is if you just take a picture on your phone and open it. It expands and the world can see.
So
the world can see.
You taking up all that space on your phone.
Girl, I delete when I'm done.
Lord have mercy.
I delete when I'm done.
Lord
it fixes the situation in the pickle. Because if I'm trying to figure something out, I need to know what's happening.
Oh, okay. So you just in denial. All right. I mean, you gonna do your workaround. That's fine. Okay.
No, I gotta get my glasses. I'm gonna get my glasses.
Okay. Ain't no shame in my game.
Listen, it's not a matter of shame. Do you remember I used to want to wear glasses? It's just a matter I just haven't gone to the doctor to go get them.
Because you ain't know no better. We always thought deficiencies made us cuter.
I know.
So for those of you who don't know, Miss Queen, as she has introduced herself, we have been friends since 19. Do you know what year? I know
94.
No, ma'am.
No. 92.
Yes, ma'am.
92.
We have been friends since 92.
Golly.
She came from another state, and y'all hear how we talk. You hear how she talk now, how she speaks. Excuse me, how she speaks now. That's not how she spoke when I met her.
It was
coming from Miami, Florida, or being in Miami, Florida. Y'all know what we be saying. You speak very light skinned. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So we have kind of like worked on her a little bit, but this been since 1992, and this is what y'all get. So,
right. So
yeah,
this is about this. Yeah. So just in case you thought I was doing the Madeira, no, this is how I talk. So sorry in advance for those that it offends.
So I called her and I told her Friday that I had started my little YouTube channel. So today is Monday, so we dealing with 3 days. So she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited! Oh, I want to do a show! What made you want to do the show?" And I was like, "No, we're not gonna talk." I said, matter of fact, we're gonna hang up the phone. I said, because if we stay on the phone, we're going to continue talking. I was like, nope, whatever questions you want to ask me on Monday. She's like, for real? I can ask you anything? I was like, yep. She was like, I think this is a setup.
No. When she asked us to set, I was like, I don't know. But then I was like, you know what? At this point, conversations like this need to be had, and they need to be real. And everything that we're talking about is not scripted at all. It's off the broiler, as they say. But when you've been, and I just calculated, that's 33 years, Jocelyn.
You just said my name.
You gotta cut it out.
I ain't cutting it out. It's there. It's whatever. They know who I am. But go ahead.
I was worried about her slipping up and saying my name. Look who's. I'm done. Okay. So 33 years of friendship, and I promise you, we've gone through fights, ups, downs, turns around. I'm not talking to you. I am talking to you. And we're back, and here we are. And yes, I feel like when you're, I don't know. I feel like when you're this type of friend, I feel like we just catch up. It's not like, okay, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And then now we're friends again. So it doesn't, I don't think it works like that. At least not for me.
No, it doesn't, no. I don't like playing catch up though. I don't. But I think I'm a hard person to be a friend to because I have high expectations for my friends.
Accurate.
And can I finish? And they know when they're in the doghouse. And I'm not mad that they know the high expectations because if you're friends, they should know what you expect from them as your friend and when they're not meeting your expectations.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts, I'll take that.
Thanks.
I'll take that.
So I think I do a good job of articulating.
So let me start off with this. Jocelyn, I'm so sorry that
she said my name again. Okay, go ahead.
I'm horrible at this. Sorry. I'm sorry that we lost connection and I didn't, because when you were trying to reach out and trying to reaffirm our relationship, I know I wasn't receptive. I did a very poor job of communicating. You communicate top tier, have always been able to communicate top tier. It's always been me that's like, wait a minute, I thought I said that, or I didn't say that, or did I think that? No, I didn't think that. And that's why I appreciate you, because you accept me for who I am, but you always push me to try to be better. So you don't just say, okay, well, that's just how she communicates, and you just, you like, no, you gotta, no, you're gonna do this, but you're not gonna talk to me.
I don't appreciate you saying that. I can know everybody on the other side like, yup.
You gonna do it? Like, it's like, if you don't know, you XYZ, no, you wanna do ABC, okay, well, let me know when you're ready to do XYZ, because I'm not ready. And until you and just because you're ready to do XYZ, I'm not going to be ready to do XYZ just because you're ready now. Oh, you're going to wait. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go through the whole alphabet. And then when I get to XYZ, you can come in, should you choose. It's your choice. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? I'm just saying.
Friendships are hard. And now through all of that, I'm like, well, one, and I don't even want to start in this light, but oh well, we're here now or whatever, because I want to apologize because you had a death in the family and I wasn't there. Part of it was some of the communication or whatever, and I thought it was at a different time than what it was, but I was not there, and I'm like, no, that was a huge loss, and we haven't really spoke. Because it's a lot. You've had a lot, oh gosh, going on. For real. Like, that would legitimize, hey, why I'm not present, why I'm not there. So that part I understand. But it's like, when you have losses, you're not going to get that same loss again. So it's like that loss and then that's it.
So you trying to start me off by crying already, eh?
I'm not crying. You crying?
Oh, yes.
I'm not crying.
I'm already to you. No, you already know my eyeballs already.
Nope, I'm not crying. I'm a word ahead, but I'm not crying today. We're not doing this today. Nope.
Well, it's going to happen. I'm sorry. From my end. Thank you for apologizing. Because I have to tell you that it did hurt me a lot that you were not there when my mom passed away. And I was really, really looking forward to you being there. Because unlike some of the other people that were there, you knew her. And some of the other people were just there. But you knew who she was. And you remember just how our relationship was. And so when you didn't show up, it stung a lot. It stung a lot. But, I get it, everybody, in that time, in that moment, it just was like, okay, I'm just going to deal with what's here. But it has been a very rocky road. And so with that being said, I'm glad that you are here now. Because if that didn't teach me anything, it taught me that you don't know when. Like, I talked to her on this Saturday, Jocelyn. Again, I said it. I apologize. I talked to her on the Saturday, and I went to go see her on Monday, and I found her on the floor, passed out. But she was still breathing shallow. Got her to the hospital. She died the next day. It was nothing that you could tell me that would have happened like that. Nothing. And the trauma of that, of finding her, the trauma of not being able to exit out of the room while they were trying to resuscitate her. Both times, me and Shannon just were there. I didn't even say her name, but I said me and my sister were there, and yeah, it was really hard because we couldn't get out of the room, and so those beepings and just that whole scene put me in a real bad way. So of course, and I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I started therapy because I needed to. I started medication because I needed to, because I was not in a healthy or in a good way at all. So I'm glad that you're here now, and I'm glad that we're able to rekindle, because I missed you so much.
And we are, for those of y'all who don't know, we are those friends that it'll go by for months and months and we don't talk, and we do pick up where we left off. But I don't like, again, like I said before, I don't like picking up where we left off if it can be avoided.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going on social media. You got time for everybody else. Why you ain't got time for me?
Well, here it is.
And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we grew apart. Cause you get another set of friends, and I ain't one of them hating friends that be like,
now you got some new friends.
Right,
I hate that.
But I don't like when you be getting new friends. I like when you got old friends.
She had cracker. That's me.
So for those of y'all who don't know, so her and her husband, I met her husband before she did.
And did. It's actually, she's the reason why we're together. It's her.
So I'm a pretty good matchmaker.
You're a great matchmaker.
I'm a pretty good
matchmaker. Even though when you got ready to tell him, I said, don't do it. I said, oh no. But she knows me, and she knows I would just look from afar and keep talking about him like I had been doing for months before me. And she got sick of hearing me say, oh my God, there he is. Oh my God. So finally she's like, hey, so-and-so, come here. And we had spaghetti that day. That's how embedded it is in my brain. That's how embedded it is. And I remember looking down and just saying, just focus on the plate. Focus on the tray. So he comes over, she looks at him, and she's like, my friend right here likes you. And I thought I was just going to melt. Just melt. Oh. And then he thought it was, of course, so by this point, she's laughing. I'm looking all blank in the face like, I don't know what to do right now. And so he got to laugh and then walks away. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Oh, freakazoid was happening in my brain. It was horrible. It was horrible. And you see, and she still finds it funny. If
you like somebody, tell them. They might like you back. What? See? He liked you back? No?
He did. He did. That's how
liked you a lot back.
Liked me a lot back.
All that back. Well,
okay. I'm done. I cannot.
Nah.
Listen, honey.
So we gonna go back a little bit. So what would you say, like you're saying, okay, you had you're going to therapy, or you're trying to fix your situation. What would you say to other people that have lost parents, or even specifically your mom? Is there a difference?
It definitely is a difference. And I will say that for people that have lost a parent, be patient with yourself and allow yourself to feel the feelings. And the people that are supporting the person that has lost that loved one, please be patient, because it is a process that doesn't just like start one day and end the next. Like, for instance, if a family member gets sick, and maybe your aunt or your cousin or something like that, your extended family, and they pass away, You hurt, you cry, but it's a different hurt when that person is your mother or when that person is your father. My husband lost his mom a year and a month to the day, a year and a month before my mom passed away. And I did not understand the grief or the emotion that was tied to it. This is me watching from the outside. So I'm looking at him, and there's moments where he's upset. There's moments when, he's just not, almost like checked out. And I'm doing everything that I humanly know how to do to bring him back, to say, come on, snap out of it. I want you to feel better. Trying to do different activities to make him feel better. And in doing that, as the person on the outside, I thought that I was helping by trying to help him get out of it. And I didn't realize till I was the person who it was happening to how insensitive that is. Because what you're saying is, I know you're hurting, but you have to put that to the back burner. I need you to go back to who you are. And the truth of the matter is, once you've lost a parent, that is your new reality. That is the new person that you are.
Wow.
And so a lot of people don't realize what that feels like. And unfortunately, you will not feel what it feels like until you've lost a parent. And once you've lost a parent, then you start to, Mother's Day, birthdays, holidays, everything that we just kind of, that's just another holiday. You begin to dread it. Like Thanksgiving, the first Thanksgiving I had here was her last Thanksgiving. And so when Thanksgiving came around again last year, I cried. It was devastating for me. The Christmas before that, we had taken her and we went out of town. And so here goes Christmas again. And so now it's devastating. Mother's Day, birthday. And then, of course, I have children. So all of their birthdays, because my mother was one that was going to be there with a card in her hand and a little gift that she hadn't got from Temu. Or Temu, as she would say. And she was going, and honey, it was going to be wrapped in a recycled gift bag with some recycled paper, and you was going to be thankful for that gift. And I was every time. It got to the point where I got pictures of where one of my daughters was looking at the gift, and I could see her face like, what is this? And so you see me on the back, I'm like, to say you like, but I can see her face like, what is this? What is this? But she wasn't going to say it. So she looking at me. I was like, girl, you better say you like it. You better say you like it. So trust and believe, when those holidays come around and when those things happen, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And so the thing that I am thankful for is I have, my husband, and I have my sister and my kids. They have been a real, like, as far as immediate support system. Now, you have your friends, but again, I'll say my sister and my husband, because my sister lost our mom, and I'll say my husband because he lost his mom, so he understands. There's times when I'm watching a commercial, or he's watching a commercial, and it'll be something like a mom or something, and I just start crying, or he'll get quiet and he'll just be like, I'll be back in a minute, because it hits like random. You'll hear a song, you'll think of a thought, a memory, and then you realize they're not here. And with him, his mom was, they put her into like the casket, in the wall.
On the mausoleum.
Right, in the mausoleum. My mom, we cremated her. Mm-hmm. So I have nowhere to go back to, and not saying that she would be there, but sometimes it brings like a sense of comfort, because you can at least say, okay, I know that this was where I know that she is. It just, you don't have that.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Looking at it from both angles, I think that it stings sometimes, but she wanted to be cremated, and I think when people have a place to go to, sometimes it holds them in that place of mourning. But then in other times, it depends on the person and the situation and the relationship they had with that person. But for me, I take it in as, what, we scattered her ashes in the ocean, and anytime that I want to feel, or if I just, I don't like the beach, but if I go to the beach, I've sensed like, Mommy, you're everywhere. And I'm okay with that. But, and then the other part to that is the people that go to the, like, most times they don't go.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So you pay all that money to put the person into wherever, and then you don't go because it's very painful to go back.
Or eventually you're gonna stop.
Right.
Going.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, yeah. So that's my take on that. Did I get off topic?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I'm getting ready to get off topic, but it's something that you said. Why don't people from Miami, where they have been like born and like be around the water, why don't we like to go to the water?
Girl, I don't know. Because make it make sense. I don't like to go to the beach. I don't like it. Why am I going? The sand is everywhere. It stays in my socks. It stays in my shoes. I'm walking. It's in my car for weeks at a time. You can't never seem to get it out.
It's in your hair.
It's in your hair. Ma'am, you shaking out towels. You don't wash the towel. You shake it out. Where the little grains of sand came from? It was stuck inside of your.
It's been crevices you ain't know you had.
Right. It just is everywhere. Not to mention, you have to go at the right time. If you go when it's too hot, the sand is hot. You can't sit on it. You can't walk on it because it's burning up. If you go the wrong time, the water has the seaweed and all that mucky stuff in it. No. Just no.
Do you go to the pool?
Sometimes, and guess what? When I go to the pool, ask me if I get in the water.
Oh no, I get in the water.
I
I love the pool. Specifically the hot tub.
Really?
Yes.
We don't have a hot tub over here, but we have two pools.
I go all the time.
Really?
Yes. A long periodically time. I be there for hours.
For real?
And I go at nighttime.
Nice. Mm-hmm. But we actually went to the pool, was it Friday or Saturday? Me, Shannon.
What time did you?
We went in the afternoon.
Y'all crazy. I don't like to go no time before 5 o'clock.
No, well, the thing was, she was going to, she started her workout journey. Woohoo! So she was going to do some water aerobics, and then I was like, well, I'll come over there with you. And then after a while, another friend of mine came over, and then the kids came over, and it just became a little pool gathering. But the whole time now. Am I dressed in bathing suit? Absolutely. Do I have my little cover up? Do I look like
the whole outfit, girl.
The whole outfit. Glasses. I have my sunblock. Like you think I'm getting in that water. It's nothing that nobody could tell you that I'm not getting in. But once I get there, I'm not getting in. There's something about sitting in wet bottoms that I just don't like.
Well, what is wet bottoms if you're in the water?
I don't like that feeling.
But you're in the water.
Right, but eventually when you get out, you're going to have the wet bottoms. Who wants to feel that? Who wants to feel it? I don't want to feel it. And so I have issues with that. So if I get in the water, better believe when I get out, I'm immediately putting something around myself to get rid of the bottoms. I got to get out of it. Put on a dress or something so I can just not have it. I just cannot. I don't know. I feel like I got on a diaper. I guess that's what it is. What?
And I don't know why she acting like this because she got brunge, okay? So, but you said something about your exercising regimen or whatever, your sister's journey, and Spin It was like, ask her what she's doing. Spin it!
Do. Oh my God, that joke was hilarious. That's an inside joke, by the way, for those of you all that are trying to understand what Spin It is. I nicknamed someone that's related to her Spin It because we were watching after school cartoons, and she just knew that cartoon was gonna come on.
DuckTales or whatever.
Right, it was something coming on, and she said "Spin it," and it was something else. And baby, I laughed about that all day, and so now forever her name will be Spin It to me. So Spin It. I have been. So with that being, let me back up a little bit. So what I decided to do, and I'm going to be, this is hard for me, but I'm going to go ahead and be transparent. When I'll say maybe a month, not even a month, the year before my mom passed, the year when Lerman's mom passed, I started walking. I know. Don't say it. I'm just hoping that it doesn't come out again. Okay. When we started walking, or I started walking, I was walking to, just to get some type of exercise. I was using it as a method of just trying to get out of my head, because at that time it was COVID and everybody was all bunched up in the house all the time, and I just needed some space. That then turned into an eating disorder, which was horrible. And see, this is a misconception that happens when people talk about eating disorders. You automatically assume that doesn't happen to black people, that doesn't happen to older black women, and it can happen to anybody. It started with me just trying to watch what I ate, and then it started with me just not eating this, and then it went from me to restricting to just not eating for days. And then it got to the point where that was scaring my family, so they were like, you gotta eat. And I started eating, but then I would give it back. And when I went to therapy, I found out that because everything had been out of control, like, there was issues with my daughter's health, issues that was going on with the world as a whole. It just was a lot happening that I had no control over. That was the one thing that I can say that only affected me, that I had control over. And that's where the seed was planted. That's where it started. So since then, I've been working with my therapist to develop healthy means of still having a say in what I do and what happens to my body, but doing it in a healthy way. So with that being said, I started going to the gym. So this is I want to say year 3 of me going to the gym. And you see I got my workout pants on. I'm probably gonna work out this afternoon. But I usually work out, if not every day, every other day. And I found that's my release. That's where I go to do something that it's just for me. It's something that helps my body. It's something that helps my mental. If I'm have a lot on my mind, I'll walk, I'll run, I'll lift. I'll do something I'll take out all my frustrations on the workout, and that helps me to cope. And so with that being said, the benefit of the coping is I'm in better shape. Mm-hmm. But it's just the route that I had to take to get to this was not rainbows and stars. Did you know that?
Nope. How would I have known?
Facts. So,
I gave her the side eye when I asked her that.
She did. But yeah. And that was and so I'm still, again, actively, like I've mentioned before, in therapy for it, because it is hard. And that's the first time I've said it on any platform.
So why is it hard if you already know that you're doing it?
What do you mean?
You're saying it's hard?
Yeah. Because
what's hard? What are you fighting?
The thoughts in your head.
What are some of the thoughts?
You're fat. You're not good enough. If you were like this, you would be better. If you were like that, you would be better. Look at you. Now look at you eating again. Why you're not even hungry. What that's gonna do to you. And what is that? Body dysmorphia. That is a real thing. Because what I see in the mirror is someone that is a size 14, 16, sometimes 22. Even at the size that I am now.
And what size are you now?
Between 4 and a 6. And but you see the reaction that you had, which was, so tell me why you reacted like that.
Because I was the skinny friend, now I'm the fat friend.
That's why you roll your eyes. Girl, I'm giving you a...
No, but I'm saying, I was the skinny friend, now I'm the fat friend, and you over here acting like...
You're not fat.
You still acting like the fat friend.
Because that's how I see myself. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
No, I get it.
Because when I see myself, like literally, when I tell you, I'm always like this. I'm always pinching. I'm always, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to eat that. Okay, it's after a certain time, I'm not going to eat that. I don't want that. And I could want it,
But I get that. That's something that's to me that's spiritual. When you have made a change and your mind refuses to see, sometimes you don't want to see the reality and you don't need it because you need to see yourself in the future. But I think sometimes it's like not seeing the reality causes you to do what you're doing now. So it's like, no, what is allowing me to stand in front of the mirror and see myself 2 to 3 times bigger than what I was when I'm not?
Right.
And I know I'm not, but this is what I see, this is what I think. And that's when you start getting into the things like, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Yeah.
And that's why I really tell people your mind is a dangerous place to not take control and authority over.
Sure.
So I think that's why I asked that, and that's why I was like, no, let me hear what it is that you're saying, because I'm sure that there are other people that are listening that are eavesdropping on our conversation. They're wanting to hear that answer. So it's like, how do you look and see what you see, but you still think what you think? And that's programming, and that's always trying to measure up. And it's like, okay, now you've measured up. What's the problem?
And with that being said, first you have to decide, what is the measure up? What's the goal? Because if you're constantly chasing something that you don't even know what it is, how do you know when you've achieved it? So you stay in this perpetual cycle of, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, which goes in hand with what you're saying as far as mind, really honing in on your mind, honing in on your thoughts. I mean, and it is a process. I'm still working through it. When I tell you, like one of my daughters bought a night set for me, like the shorts and like the little top, and the shorts was like this, and I was like, who gonna wear this? This so small. I said, I can't fit that. And so literally she was like, no, mommy, you can put it on. I said, I can't wear that. She said, mommy, just put it on. And I put it on, and I said, oh. In my mind, and that's how when my husband saw that is when he realized, like, you really don't. We went to the store. My daughter she wanted to buy me a pair of shorts. I told her one size, and she was like, mommy, that's not your size. And I said, yes, it is. And so she went and got the size that she thought was best for me. And it was like 2 sizes smaller than the one I gave her. So
how do you think you got stuck there? So it's like, okay, like you say, you achieving whatever it is you think you're achieving, but it's like your body went there, and your mind, if your mind doesn't go where your body is, you're going to be stuck wherever your mind takes you. And there is I have another friend, and she talked about her weight loss on another channel, and it was more of, okay, I did it for people. And it was like, okay, when I do it the next time, it'll be for me. And I tell people, weight issues are not big people problems or little people problems. They're just weight issues, whether it's too much weight or not enough weight. Because being too big is an issue, and being too skinny is an issue. And it's finding that healthy balance in the middle. And you do get some people that are just so over-consumed with working out just to work out. Because I'm listening to some of the things that you said, and you're like, oh, why am I eating this? So whenever I want to lose weight, I do not exercise.
Really? Well, but you know what? But that's fine, because it was that was always one of my biggest gripes. I never understood how you were able to just, I gained a couple pounds and just stop. We was even walking. We would walk to school, and I'd be like, I'm doing the same thing. Why can't I be skinny? Why?
I ain't skinny now, though.
You thick, though. So what's the problem?
What you said? When you look in the mirror, what you see? There's too much thickness going on here.
But you know what? But with that being said, remember you just said it's a problem with being too big, being too small, and so I also feel that if you're okay with the size that you are, whether it's big or small, who is anybody else to say that that's not the right size?
Little pushback. Okay. So while I agree on the mentality, but we can be too big or too small. That's the only problem that I have with the other side of that, because it's like, you got these 600 pound, like, you understand? It's like, well, I'm good with it. No. You're not. So that's the only pushback that I'm giving on that. But no, you need to be comfortable in the skin that you're in. And I think sometimes what we don't understand, especially just being a woman, whether you skinny, whether you medium, large or extra large and in charge, I find that dimples come in all sizes.
Baby, say that.
Cottage cheese comes in all sizes. Swiss cheese comes in all sizes.
Muffin tops come in all sizes. Ma'am, skinny as I don't know what, and you sit down and you got a muffin top. Why?
Oh my God. Miss Son. And then don't mess around and have no churn.
Girl.
So
your body, and I don't care what anybody says. The stars, I think they've cloned their bodies or something. Because it is, when you carry children inside of your body has made room for a whole nother individual. It does not go back. And I had 3 cesareans, so my husband saw them pull all my organs out and plop them on my stomach and take the baby out and push them back inside. So I know for a fact my job was all scrambling in there. So literally, it's like when that happens, it really shifts your body. It does. But then that goes back to society, because society gives this standard that women are supposed to be this way and it's okay for men to be this way. Once a man, in most men, once they hit that like 35, 45 mark, they call it the dad bod.
The dad bod.
The dad bod. That's the skinny legs with the little round belly.
I think that men are better at accepting their dad bods than women.
Facts.
So I think what happens is, and I said it in one of the other episodes, we put, it's one of the church lady episodes, we put these stigmas on ourselves. One of my coworkers, I was talking to him, and we ended up talking about stretch marks. And I was like, I had stretch marks before I had kids.
Facts.
And I don't have any on my stomach, but I had them in other places. And he was like, he said, you want to know what? He said, overall, I think men look at stretch marks as like, what they call them? I can't think of the word, like war wounds. So where we over there looking like they're battle scars, they're like, it's this honor, a badge of honor. And they're like, okay, you gave birth to his child or whatever the case is. It's us that be society. Like, you just really gonna show all of that?
And society.
And they ain't even know. That's I blame women.
Really?
Women. Because all of these women have men or can still get men.
Accurate. But let me give pushback. Why is it so common for stars and singers, when they have babies, they try to get their body, that you don't see no, like they snap back.
I don't care.
And they make it their business to make sure like all that's like they cut, and if it's with makeup or whatever, they don't brag about it being a beautiful thing. And I think I personally think that it should be accepted. I wear tank tops all the time. I don't care.
But I
have stretch marks on my stomach.
I think this one I'm not gonna blame on the stars.
You're gonna blame it on women.
Yes.
Not even men.
No. Men don't have a problem with it. They don't. Men don't have a problem with a lot of things that women have a problem with. When we see another woman looking that way. I am not gonna put this on the men. Men, y'all better get in the comments and give me my flowers.
Well.
And stretch marks is one of them. Like I said, I had stretch marks before I had kids.
Facts. What was it? Somebody said, Somebody said, when the lights go out, the stretch marks. Exactly. So who's looking for?
They call them tiger stripes.
Well.
So I'm like, that's that body dysmorphia. We look at that as, oh my gosh, why is she showing that? And a lot of times it's projecting. You're showing, you don't want her to show it because you don't want to show yours.
Well.
And that's the problem. That's what happens when I see big girls and they be wearing their thumbs. I be like, you know what? I need to get my confidence up because she wearing that. That's how I look at that. I need to cut it out on me. So I look at that when I see other people wearing it as I need to step my confidence game up. Not, oh my God, girl, look at her. What does she
got on, girl?
And that's what happens. That ain't the stars.
You're right, because you know what? The people, even with the Lizzo movement, she really, really helped open people's eyes as far as accepting your body and accepting what you look like and how you and wearing what you want to wear, regardless of what anybody else thinks.
Now, some of us be wearing some stuff that we really shouldn't be wearing.
Sit down.
I'm sorry.
Sit down. So let's talk about that. So when you say it shouldn't be wearing stuff like what?
It don't matter if you big or skinny. Nobody should be wearing that. they need to stop making it. That's what I'm talking about. And sometimes because it come in your size, don't mean it's still for you because you can get in it.
Okay, guys, let me just give y'all a little background here. See, you think that she might sound like like an old grandma, right? This lady's been talking like this since we was in middle school. And she has always had that perception of, now you know she does not need to be wearing that. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's okay. No. Just because you can fit in it doesn't mean you should wear it. No.
Because you can fit in it don't mean you should get in it. Everything ain't for everybody.
All the time. Right. But why do people feel that it's okay?
Because they comfortable in it and we just got to leave them alone. That goes back to what I was just saying, even how sometimes women, we're harder on ourselves than men are. All the things it is we do, all the money that we spend on hair, all the money that we spend on makeup, they like, can you just wear your hair? And we have become so uncomfortable in our own skin that it's almost an insult for the person, your significant other, to be like, I just want to see your hair. But you don't like what's wrong with what I got now?
Facts. But your hair has always been beautiful. And you are, I think you were in 12th grade when you decided to cut off all your hair?
Girl, I've been cutting my hair.
No, I'm talking about, no. You cut it, but it was specifically senior year, because then you just went total, because before that your hair grew it back out again, and then you were like, nope, I'm gonna cut it, and you cut it so short before everybody's walking around with their natural texture. I was like, nah, that's the look now, that's the style now. But you were doing it way back and didn't care. I
told them, don't let this short hair fool you. I'm strictly is all I'm saying. Strictly.
It was.
We gonna go to hell for something. It ain't gonna
be that.
Strictly.
And that's just how it goes. Strictly.
God don't lie. But yeah, I don't know.
That's a good one. So, we got on a whole nother tangent, but yeah, that's kind of back to spin it. I've been exercising. That's what I've been doing to maintain my weight and maintain my body, and my mental. Now you mentioned church, and you said, if you don't have control over your mind, you need to, that's demonic. And tell me why that's your thought.
So I had been watching it's a white lady from Johannesburg, South Africa. Caroline Leaf, Dr. Caroline Leaf.
Okay.
And she's some kind of neuro doctor or whatever it is.
Okay.
So when you learn what the brain looks like, it's trees. So I don't know how, again, I binge watch YouTube videos, and I was just intrigued about things of the mind, not knowing years later I would need that information. So she was saying what happened is she was in school, and I like when spiritual Christians, whatever words it is that you want to use, but those that are on that type of religious side, go into the medical field. That's a blessing when you can find somebody like that, because the Bible meets the book.
Yes.
So when the book meets the book, they cut out all the fluff and all the middle stuff. Okay. So basically, she was dealing with people who had, they call them TBIs, which are traumatic brain injuries. And it's blunt force trauma, whether it's from a car accident or whatever it is. It's blunt force trauma to the brain. And science says that you cannot renew your mind. And if you are any type of half of a Bible thumper, it says, be ye renewed by the transforming of your mind.
That's accurate.
So what happened to her was she didn't have a problem with science. She kept saying, but y'all say we can't do this, but the Bible say we can do that. Y'all say the mind can't do this, but it's these scriptures on that. So she went and pulled up all the scriptures that she could find that we go and read when it says, renewing your mind, bringing all your thoughts under captivity, all those things under subjection, all of those things. Anything that exalts itself against the will of God. All those scriptures. And she was like, I know that there's a way. So I don't know if it was one of her friends, but from this, she made it her case study. And the girl got in an accident, I guess like 9th grade. She got in a car accident. So, of course, she's now behind all of her friends. She was very smart, all of that stuff. And fast forward, all the research that she did, and she ended up having her do, I don't know the word to call it, but experiments. By the time we got to 12th grade, she had exceeded her friends.
Wow.
Because you can grow it just like a tree. And it's so funny, her name is Caroline Leaf. But you can renew your mind just as the Bible says that you can. And she proved it. So anybody, I always recommend, if you find somebody that is in the medical field, whether it's for therapy, whether it's for your surgery or procedure that you get ready to have, whether it's your primary physician, and that person has the fear of God in them, that is a blessing.
Yes, it
because
is.
that person gonna pray with you before you go. You ain't even gotta ask. They gonna pray when you under. They gonna be praying for you the whole time they working on you.
Facts.
So fast forward, I ended up where my husband had a TBI. So some of the stuff helped me to help him, where I probably would have been sulking and sobbing when he had his injury. I think that gave me a little bit more push to be able to push him. And I wasn't taking no for an example. I wasn't taking no for a reason that he couldn't do something. I wasn't taking, oh, you got a headache, you got this. So I knew to slow down. So, asking so many questions in a row or back to back would cause, like, his brain would get hot, like literally his head would get hot. So, as we would go to the doctors and things like that, that's when you say, okay, just give him a minute. Because the thoughts are there, but it takes time for you to like reprogram, renew your mind, all of those things. So, it is possible to do it. So that's why I'm like, no, when you look in the mirror and you see something different than what is there, on one end is good because you say, okay, I will be bigger or I will be smaller or whatever it is, those affirmations that are there. But when now you look and you've affirmed and now you see what you see and you still don't accept what it is you see, now that's a problem.
Right.
It is something there psychologically that is blocking you seeing what it is that you need to see.
Which is why I stressed, it is such a the therapist that I have, she is Bible based, thank God. And so a lot of times we're able to kind of do that teeter-totter between scripture and science. So I'm thankful for that. But at this point, I know, and that's why I said I'm still actively working through it, is that there is a root issue. And it does go back to my childhood. And that is kind of where I've gotten so far in my therapy. So that's what I'm currently giving, she's been giving me activities and different things to do just to kind of dig, to kind of release that so that one thing deals with the next. And once that's done, then it'll be like, I'll be able to move on. Like that bondage will be broken. But I will say, and I didn't get a chance to really expound on, I know but your followers don't know. It wasn't just like that one traumatic thing when it was a matter of me having control. One of my children have had a very autoimmune disease from the time that she started middle school. And that in turn turned our whole world upside down.
Thanks for sharing this space with us today on Fix My Ship. We know this episode was heavy, but healing starts when we stop hiding what hurts. If anything we talked about hit home, please don't carry it alone. Reach out, speak up, or just let someone in. Until next time, take care of your heart, and remember, it's okay to need help while you're healing. Peace and progress.